So as we break into or move into this higher level frequency resonance of the new consciousness, it's going to be intense, right? Not everybody chooses to move into that higher degree of consciousness because we have free will, and that's okay. So as you shift up into this higher resonating consciousness, if you keep your eye on your brilliance, this is the amazing thing. You start to move into those new consciousness frequencies more because you're strengthened. You're like, no, I am not going to be pulled into this lower frequency order. I am refusing. I am keeping my awareness on my brilliance as much as I can, right? Because you're human. Okay, and you keep doing that again and again, and you strengthen. Though, because you're strengthening and your frequency resonance is buoying up exponentially because you're doing it in that challenge, you start to access the new consciousness frequencies more, which then buoy your frequency resonance even more, which allows you more access to your brilliance. Do you see how it just is a spiral of like self-perpetuating awesome? Okay? So that's what I'm saying. It's so important right now for us to keep our eye on our brilliance. And it's in part why I felt so called to give the Living Your Brilliance intensive. And that's available on replay if you want to watch that. And also why we're giving the Living Your Brilliance series, because it's a touch point, right? So it's like, it's twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. So it's like bring you back, here, focus here,
lovely.
Focus here, focus here. Remember who you are.
Right.
Because how easy is it for us to get distracted by some freaking thing that happens in our lives?
Totally.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can be like cruising along, everything's great, hit a challenge.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, where do we go? Like our minds kick up, our emotions go, our resonance drops, right? We're not in a good place.
Right, even after some like amazing event where you really, I feel like that's happened to all of us, right? we go to this whatever workshop or we have this encounter and we're like, I will never forget this again. And then like, it's inevitable. You just forget.
You're like, dang.
But that kind of points to the veil of forgetting that we've talked about.
Yes.
Right? So you want to just touch on that real quick for people who are new.
So for people who are new, thank you for raising that. So part of the reason that we forget our brilliance is what Chia just mentioned, which is the veil of forgetting. And when you come into embodiment, you basically agree to forget who you truly are, which is infinite indestructible consciousness, that you're intrinsically connected to the oneness. Now, I'm just saying that very casually, as if that's not a big deal, but it's a really tremendously huge deal, And to forget that is freaking huge. I don't know why I'm cursing so much, sorry. But it's like, it's huge because why? It's such a profound forgetting. It can make us feel like we are alone, disconnected, finite, physical beings, that aren't, that can control, maybe we can start to contract in that.
Yeah.
And when you come through the veil of forgetting, and you also start to encounter linear time, it can be very binding for some people. Like, you're used to being this like infinite creature, limitless, or not a creature, being, okay?
Being.
That's
energy.
huge. Exactly. Not bound by anything. And then all of a sudden you're dropping through the veil of forgetting, where you're forgetting your part, that's your nature, that you are part of the one. And now here you are in embodiment in linear time. It can be quite a shock, even if you want it, which we do, because that's how you chose to come into this embodiment. So when you go through the veil of forgetting, you forget your nature as infinite indestructible consciousness, which is your brilliance.
Hence why we need help here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is why living your brilliance is so important. It's so important at this time. We're in this time where we are shifting. That's why we are talking about this in the podcast, because it's so easy, like you just said, to forget, right? There's especially when there are a lot of people who are going to go into some fear here, right? When there's breakdown before the breakthrough, people tend to kind of freak out. It just kind of happens. And as we all know, there's a general level of fear that's existing now in the world, right? That's being perpetuated, ramped up. Yeah, it's happening. Okay, there's fear just present. Then you add chaos to it, and now, right now we have a lot of people freaking out. So, all right, so when you have that happen, it's really easy to get pulled into that because there's so many people who are holding a lower resonance.